welcome to the Speak English online video lessons. My name is Carrie, I'll be your teacher today, and our topic is articles. So in English, we only have 3 articles: a, and the. Let's first talk about the difference between a and. Unfortunately, it's a little complicated because with and, we can only use words that begin with vowels. What are the English vowels? A, E, I, O, and U. So unfortunately, if your sentence has an apple, one apple, we cannot say a apple. We must say an apple. Same thing if we have an elephant, one elephant, we must use an elephant. So that's the only problem with a and. Today, mainly, we're going to be talking about the difference between and the. Things get much more complicated if you're choosing between an elephant or the elephant, a apple or the apple. So let's look at some examples. We have a few rules. Rule number 1, a and an would be for a general singular noun. Our second rule, the, is normally for a specific singular noun. So singular means you're talking about one thing, not 2, not 3, only one. And general and specific are also important. For example, if I'm hungry, I go to the manaf and they have hundreds and hundreds of apples. So if this woman is hungry, is it important which apple she chooses? Is it important that she only chooses this apple, for example? Is that important? No, not normally. All of the apples are the same, right? They're all red apples, for example. So she might say, I'm hungry, I want an apple. If it's not important, any apple is okay. But if she really, really wants this apple, then I need to change the sentence. I want the apple. And she'll probably say, I want this apple. So remember, the and this are a very similar concept, whereas an or a and any is a very similar concept. Let's look at another example. Maybe we have a puppy dog, and he's thinking about a bone. Okay, so the puppy wants this, but is it a special, is it a specific bone, or is it a general bone? Probably general. So our sentence can be, I want a bone. So it's not important, any bone, right? He doesn't care. It can be any bone, a big bone, a small bone, a chicken bone, a cow bone. It's not important. So we use a bone. Let's do a different example. Maybe we have a boy, and this is his street. Maybe the street name is Rose Street. And which street is his house? Maybe it says, I live in a house on Rose Street. That's very general. Which house? I don't know. But maybe I change the sentence. I live in big house on Rose Street. Now, it's more specific, so I want to use the. I live in the big house on Rose Street. So you have to be careful about your general singular nouns and your specific singular nouns. Let's continue to the next rule. Rule number 3. If you're talking about the same noun again and again and again, for example, maybe you're telling a story, and the story is all about a black dog. It's the same black dog for the whole story. We will start with a or an, and then after, if you talk about the same dog again and again, we use the. So for example, so we begin with a general dog. I saw this dog, but did you see the dog? No, you didn't see the dog. I'm telling you about a dog I saw. So maybe the dog is specific for me, but the dog is not specific for you. So I need to be general for you. I saw a dog today. And now it's the same dog, right? This dog and this dog is the same dog. So I want to use the. The dog was black. Now, again, same dog, same dog, same dog. Okay, I continue to use the. But maybe suddenly there's a new dog. Then I saw bigger dog. So now we have a different dog and we have a different topic. So we start again with general. A bigger dog. So again, it becomes more complicated. For our fourth rule, we'll talk about superlatives. With superlatives, we're only going to use the. We never use a or an. Superlatives, maybe you don't know, is when you're talking about the biggest, the tallest, in the world, or maybe in Turkey, or maybe in this room. So we're always going to use the with this type of grammar, superlative grammar. Now I'm going to change it a little bit, and we're going to talk about not singular nouns, we're going to talk about plural nouns. And again, things become more complicated. So now let's talk about the difference between general plural nouns and specific plural nouns. With general plural nouns, we don't use any article. We use nothing. But with specific plural nouns, we will only use the. We don't use a and an with any plural nouns. So for example, let's talk about the difference between a general plural noun and a specific plural noun. For example, I like dogs. Which dogs? Are there dogs here? Are the dogs outside? Did you tell them these dogs or those dogs? No, we're being very general. You like all dogs, any dogs. But I can change the sentence. Dogs outside are barking. Is it all dogs? All dogs in the world outside are barking? No, maybe there's only 2 or 3 dogs that you are talking about outside. So I can use the dogs outside are barking. Let's move on to our next rule, rule number 6. For rule number 6, we're not talking about singular or plural nouns. Now we're going to talk about uncountable nouns. So what are examples of some uncountable nouns? So milk is our uncountable noun. The sentence is, I love milk. Which milk? We don't know. All milk. You cannot count it. Maybe a glass of milk, maybe a bottle of milk, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about only milk. So it's very general. We don't want to use any article. But if I take another sentence, here, am I talking about all of the milk in the world? Or am I talking about only the milk in the glass, the warm milk? Here I have a very specific milk that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about all the milk in the world. So I'll use the milk in the glass is warm. Finally, let's talk about one more type of rule. Proper nouns. So we have 2 different kinds of proper nouns. Proper nouns that don't use an article and proper nouns that use the. For example, do we say, I'm going to Galata Tower or I'm going to the Galata Tower? We use it with the. So for towers, we always use the. The Eiffel Tower, the Galata Tower. Why? There's no rules. So unfortunately, you have to memorize and you have to remember if you use the or if you don't use anything. So another example would be for countries. Do I say, I am from the America or I am from America? Typically, I would say, I am from America. It's a country unofficial name. But I can say, I am from the United States of America. Same for Turkey. I am from Turkey or I am from the Republic of Turkey. So, for official country names, we use the. What about oceans, lakes, and rivers? For oceans, typically we're going to use the. For seas, again, we use the. For rivers, again, the. But unfortunately, for lakes, nothing. So again, this is a very difficult rule with proper nouns where unfortunately you just have to memorize it. And articles are very complicated in general, so keep practicing them. And again, thank you so much for watching this Speak English video lesson series. My name is Carrie, and I thank you for watching.